Hey, this is Anthony Cesari with SuccessForYourSongs.com, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the most important and the hardest thing about writing a song. It's super obvious because that thing is finishing that song. But think about it. How often have you started a song and not finished it? If you have 100 songs that are 80% finished, you have nothing that you can show anybody. So making sure that you've actually finished the songs that you start is a super important skill that you need to practice to make sure that you're doing it consistently. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to show you some ways that you can actually make sure that you're finishing the songs that you start. I'm going to be playing a clip for you of an interview I did with Graham English of the site speedsongwriting.com, who's got some great thoughts on this topic. And if you like what you learned in this video, please like the video or leave a comment below. Thanks.
Yeah, so I think really then the lesson there is developing the habit of or disciplining yourself to finish whatever you're starting. Even if you are working on a couple different things at once, like don't let yourself start something and then go, think of another idea and chase that idea and then forget about the other one.
Shiny objects, man. It's just shiny object syndrome. And we all are we're so distracted now. You know, we're just so distracted. We got our phones, we got our computer. I had to turn my notifications off on my computer before the call because, I know that'll bug the crap out of me. I turned notifications off on this, but if I didn't, I'd have stuff beeping at me all the time. I'm surrounded by synthesizers that have LFOs that are blinking at me right now. You know what I mean? We're just totally distracted,
Yeah.
And so it's tough. It's really tough to find that focus to get the work done. When I was writing my 400-page book, it was so hard. Everything was pulling at me to don't write today, don't get this done, don't do that. But I had to, chain myself to my desk to get the work done. Yeah. And, it was worth it. But it was hard. It wasn't easy. And so songwriting can be very difficult, but it doesn't have to be, especially when you mentioned discipline and you also used habit. And I feel like if you can develop habits, good habits, then it does become fairly easy. It can still be difficult and it can still require some effort, but it doesn't require self-discipline. Self-discipline is something like I'm going to decide to write today. I'm going to decide, no, I'm not going to, you might say no because you don't have the self-discipline today. You might have had a late night last night. And so you're kind of wiped out and you're not going to write today. But when it becomes a habit, you don't really have to make a decision about it. You're just going to do it because it's part of your daily routine.
Right.
So one of the things I work with musicians on is developing a routine. If you look at the greats, if you look at Beethoven and Mozart, they had routines that they stuck to day in, day out. They took off and stuff like that, but day in, day out, they got up, they went to their wherever they composed and they composed. They did their work. And then they just did that, repeated that process over and over and over again. And that's how they created such great work. And that's how they got better. If we don't have those kinds of habits, then, it's not really, we're just kind of deciding when we're going to get stuff done. And it's slow. It's just slow. And it requires a lot of willpower and self-discipline, which can, as we know, get used up by all the decisions you have to make in a day. There's great books out there on the subject too. Willpower is a great book to read. It's ego depletion. We have only so much willpower in a day. And the more decisions that we make throughout the day, the more we use up our willpower. So by the end of the day, we have none left, which is why we tend to overeat at night, overdrink at night, get in fights with our spouse at night, just not have the willpower left to do our best work at night. But early in the morning we do. So if anyone can develop a prolific music ritual early in the morning, they're just totally winning. They're using the best part of their brain early in the morning and they're getting stuff done. So I try and work with people to get an early morning music routine that they can rely on.
Yeah, that's good because then it's not a decision in the moment like, oh, should I write songs now? No, it would be just easier to go watch Netflix or something. Instead, you're knowing that when I wake up first thing, from whatever, maybe you wake up, if you have a full-time job or something, you're waking up an hour, half hour early just to put in towards songwriting. You're doing that then, and it almost starts to take the discipline out of it and builds it as this habit. I think you get over that hump of doing it for like a week or two, and then you just get in the groove, and it becomes a lot easier.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think
And if you can get that hour or 90 minutes, if you can get 90 minutes in the morning,
yeah,
then you're just gonna be miles ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
And also, you might need to go to bed earlier. But what you do at night, your brain, the work you do at night is not nearly as effective as the work you do in the morning. So go to bed earlier. What are you really giving up?
Right.
You're not giving up anything that's important and impactful to your life. Whereas if you get up early and you do that work in the morning and you have a really good habit around a prolific music ritual, then you're gonna, in the end, you're just gonna be way better off, and ahead of everybody else. Yeah. You can outwork people that are more talented than you and get way ahead of them.
I mean, where should people go to learn more about what you're teaching and that kind of stuff?
Yes, speedsongwriting.com. That's the site that I teach my training method. And I've got a club there, and I've got a video course there, and I've got a free cheat sheet that you can check out my whole process for writing a song, with like techniques, a little technique for every step of the songwriting process that I still use today. I still use that cheat sheet.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll put a link for that below so that
awesome.
People can access that easily.
All right, so I hope you found that information useful. If you did, I have a free chord and melody writing cheat sheet for you, which you can download by tapping on the screen here. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel to stay updated on our latest songwriting videos, you can tap our logo on the screen for that. And I'll also have links for that stuff below. Thanks for checking out this video. I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.